What's going on, everybody, and welcome to our first ever episode of the Sideline Sorcerers featuring our faces. Very exciting stuff here today. The move to Houston has been completed, so we have to record virtually now. And as a result, you guys are going to get to see our lovely faces on camera every week.
Yeah, there's some pros and cons to that. I feel like seeing our faces instead of just the logo for whatever amount of time it is straight might actually be better. It's a little 40th episode surprise for everybody.
I know, dude. That's a humongous surprise. I hope all of the fans, all 40 of our fans for our 40th episode, are
Yeah,
pumped.
they better be. They better be pumped because this is going to carry us into the new NFL season and lots of lucrative bets, among other things.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Especially the lucrative bets. Speaking of
Mm.
lucrative, though, how about Trevor Lawrence's new giga contract, 275 million over 5 years to match Joe Burrow for the league leader?
That's crazy. I just find it very weird that they brought on Mac Jones and then they do this. It's like
Mhm.
they are telling him like, "All right, we're going to give you some competition. He probably won't beat you out for the job, but hopefully it spurs you along a little bit." But then they're like, "You know what? We'll still give you the bag."
Yeah, I mean, I don't get it. It feels like way too much
Yeah.
for the way that he performed, especially at the end of last season. I get that he was dealing with an injury, but like to be tied with Burrow for the
Yeah.
league leading contract feels shocking to me.
Yeah, it makes no sense. He's younger than Burrow. I feel like they should have waited until after this upcoming season for him to be
Hmm.
paid. It really is a little bit of a jarring contract to me.
Yeah, an absolute brain bender.
Oh well, though, good for him. Good for him. Hopefully he lives up to it.
Yeah, I hope so too. And who knows, maybe it'll be Caleb Williams getting a contract that size in a few years' time to match Trevor Lawrence's generational talent.
Yeah, I mean, with the size of all these contracts, Caleb Williams, like a contract like this for him might just mean that he's playing okay. And
Yeah.
we'll see like other QBs, like who knows, CJ Stroud getting one that's 300 million over 5 years.
Hmm. Yeah. That's a good point. All right, well, I guess we can hop on into the NBA playoff update. So, round four predictions for the NBA playoffs kind of going okay. The at least the record is going well, but in the way that they got there isn't exactly the way that it happened. So I said that Dallas would win game one, but Boston would win the next three. Dallas game five, Boston game six. So the series is 3-1 right now. Celtics are winning. Game five is tonight. So we will see if Dallas pulls off a victory here. So Boston won the first three and Dallas won game four. And game four especially was not even close. I think Dallas was
Mm-hmm.
winning by like 40 points at one point when I had like
Yep.
looked at the score. It was just crazy. I think it was like the third highest point total or point win in like NBA history in the playoffs, which is pretty wild.
Yeah, it's like
Um,
the Celtics kind of ran out of gas. I mean, they had been
mhm.
dominating throughout the playoffs for so long and they just had a bad game. Like I
Right.
fully still expect them to win the NBA finals. Like this
Yeah.
really is just like a little hiccup.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that they will still win it too. However, I think there will be a bonus hiccup tonight in tonight's game.
Really?
I think Dallas will win, make the series 3-2, and then Boston will clutch up and close out the series on Wednesday or Thursday, whenever they play next in game six.
Yeah, no, I honestly would be a little surprised if they don't close out tonight.
Yeah. I mean, I know they are favored by like 6.5 or seven or something like that.
Not the most exciting finals ever.
No, yeah, it really wasn't. I hate watching it go, one team up three games to none, and it definitely makes it less exciting to watch. But honestly, pretty reminiscent of last year's finals where the
Yeah.
Nuggets just kind of ran away with it.
No, yeah, I know. NBA is struggling a little bit in the playoff
A little
department.
bit. Yeah.
But anywho, moving on to the meat and potatoes of today's episode, which is our NFC East record predictions. A girthy division. Lots of drama, some potential for good, some potential for some real bad in here as well.
Some potential for real bad. And I've got a drastic difference from you, an absolute absurd prediction here.
I know the
It's
biggest difference that we'll probably see across any team,
I agree. Yeah, by a lot.
and we'll get to that one. But we're going to start with the Washington Commanders.
Yeah, I like it.
You want to
You
run
want
through
me to
yours or?
Yeah, I'll run through mine
All
first.
right.
So I've got the Commanders going 4-13 this season, having a very poor season with Jaden Daniels at the helm as a rookie. I think he's a solid QB, but he's just lacking the experience to carry his team to a significant number of victories. But starting off, we got week one at Tampa Bay. I think it's an easy win for Tampa. Week two, though, they have the Giants at home. And I think this is going to be one of their four wins this year is against the Giants. Week three, they head on over to Cincinnati, and they're not going to stand a chance against Burrow. So Cincinnati gets that one. They're going to lose week four to Arizona as well, and then even drop week five at home against Cleveland. However, I picked a couple weeks back, or maybe it was even last week actually, or 2 weeks ago, because we
Mm-hmm.
missed last week. But that Washington's going to have a freak of nature upset over Baltimore while Baltimore's at home. Just feels like one of those wacky type of games where Baltimore just drops a game that they're definitely supposed to win. So that's I've got Washington winning their second game of the season at Baltimore, and then back at home against Carolina, they lose. They lose to the Bears. They lose to the Giants this time when the Giants are at home. And then they also lose to Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. Monster stretch of losses there. But then they get another fluky win here against Dallas, division rival. They've got a game where they're at home. Dallas has a tendency to not play as well away as they do at home. So I think I'm going to take Washington in this one. And then we've got Tennessee at Washington, and I don't like Tennessee one bit. So I'm going to take Washington there. So they've got a lot of excitement heading into their week 14 bye, their very late bye, but it's not going to lead to anything because they're going to lose the last 4 weeks of the season. They're away at New Orleans. They're going to drop that game. At home against Philadelphia, they're going to lose there too. At home against Atlanta, they're going to drop this one. Kirk is going to take care of business. And finally, Dallas is going to get their win in the final week of the season, even if they have to rest their starters.
Bold predictions on some of the wins there, especially against the Eagles, the one against the Cowboys. Those are some bold dubs.
I know, yeah, especially, I've got them losing to Carolina, but beating Dallas and Baltimore. So,
Craziness, but I do have a similar record, 3-14 for the Commanders here, just quite a
mhm,
different path on how it's gotten to. I do
yeah.
think it's an easy win for the Bucks in week 1, but I also think it's a pretty easy win for the Giants to go into Washington and beat them on the road. I just do not think the Commanders with a rookie quarterback who played a lot of easy games that won him the Heisman, Grambling, Georgia State, Army that padded his stats. Don't think he's a bad player, but I just don't think he will have that much success this year. And I think the Giants will actually be a lot better than people think. So, of course, Washington goes on the road here to the Bengals and the Cardinals, losing both of those. I think they then lose at home against the Browns. They are not going to beat the Ravens. No fluky win there. Of course, then a little road trip here. You got actually a homestand, Panthers and Bears, to which they'll lose both. Then they go on the road to the Giants, so they end up getting swept by the Giants. Pittsburgh comes to town, beats them. Then they go on the road to the Eagles. The Eagles take care of business. Then they're home against the Cowboys. Cowboys win that one. I do not foresee Washington getting the dub there, but I do think they will beat Tennessee. I'm not super high on the Titans as you are either. Don't think Will Levis really has it in them. So they head into the bye week with only one win. Then they go on the road to New Orleans. New Orleans beats them. Philly at Washington. Philly comes in and sweeps them. And then I think they go on a 2-game winning streak to conclude the season at home against the Falcons. I don't know. I really could go either way on both of these games, but I just don't foresee the team going like 1-17 or whatever it would be.
Hmm.
But this is Kirk's old team previous to the Vikings. So I could see him also, having a little bit of a revenge factor there. But I'm going to take the Commanders. And then I think the Cowboys are going to be uninterested in winning this final game, even though the way I have it shaking out is that they end up having the same record as the Eagles. So it wouldn't really make sense for them to be uninterested. But I'm going to take Washington to win here on the road at Dallas.
Yeah, that's a little bit wild to me that you're having Dallas lose at home, but I understand that it's because it's the last week of the season.
Yeah. Weird
But
stuff happens the last week.
I know, dude, it's always funky. But yeah, we at least we have similar records. Like you said, we did get there quite different ways, but I do feel that the Commanders are going to be one of the worst teams in the league this season.
Absolutely, they are.
Yeah, but the Eagles, though, we've got the Eagles having a similar season to last season, just not dropping as many games at the end. I'm actually
Yep.
kind of surprised that you had the Eagles winning another game or one more game than I did, because I thought I was actually a little bit higher on the Eagles than you were after their performance last season.
They just got dealt an easier schedule, I think, because they didn't end up
Hmm.
winning the division. So they don't have
That's
to play
true.
the 49ers. They're unfortunate. Yeah, they don't have to play the Eagle or they don't have to play the Lions, the
Yeah,
Niners, or yeah. So those are like the two big ones. They do have to play the Bucks, it does appear. Yeah, yeah. They have to play the Bucks, but they don't have to play the other two division winners, which were the two better of the division winners that were
right.
on the table. So I think that helps them out tremendously.
Yeah, if they had won that game the first week of the playoffs, they would not be in the same situation that they're at right now.
Yeah, I mean the Cowboys, I have them losing both to the Lions and the 49ers this year,
Hmm.
so that's kind of the difference there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I gotcha. Well, all right. I will hop into my picks here. I've got them going 10-7. Week one, Green Bay at Philadelphia. I've got Philadelphia winning this one. We talked about that a couple weeks ago.
Now let's
Atlanta,
remember it's in Brazil.
yes, yes. I guess it's not a Philadelphia home game, but
Yeah,
yeah,
not
the
fully.
right. But Philadelphia, they're like, they're birds, and like you think like Rio de Janeiro, the Rio movie, like they're flying
Yes,
around like birds.
yes.
So it's got to be the Eagles. It has to be.
Makes more sense that way, I would agree.
Right. Yeah. And then we've got another bonus battle of the birds here in week two, the Falcons against the Eagles. And I like the Falcons with not necessarily an upset here, but a nice little start of the season game here for Kirk to take down a strong team in Philadelphia. Then
That's
we've got
crazy. That's
that's
crazy.
crazy.
That's
You don't like
crazy.
that?
No. On the
Why?
road, second game, Kirk Cousins as a Falcon. The second game, he's already got to go on the road to Philadelphia, one of the most hostile environments in the NFL. No way.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. Kirk could be full of surprises. He's like the magic man. He's an
I'm worried about the
illusionist.
Falcons this year after that Penix pick.
I know you're worried about them, and I'm not going to say that I'm super hot on them either, but I mean, they at least have more talent this year. Although I actually saw this crazy TikTok where it was this guy saying that like Drake London is going to be like a top 8 wide receiver in the NFL this year. And I was like, all right, like settle down a little bit, bud.
I honestly think that's more likely than them winning this
What?
game.
No way, bro. Drake London being top 8?
In terms of production, yeah, I think it's possible.
No
Drake London's kind
way.
of a beast.
No, he's not. Not so far.
He's had no QB though. He's had Taylor Heineke, Marcus Mariota, and Desmond Ritter.
I feel like Kirk is liable to throw the ball to Kyle Pitts instead.
I mean, yes, I think they both will actually have like career high years.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll see. I would much rather take Atlanta to win this game against the Eagles you know, than
It'll
Drake
be
London to be
interesting to
top
see.
8.
I feel like both probably won't happen, but we'll see. We'll have to
Okay.
re-examine and reevaluate this.
Fair enough. Week 3, Philadelphia and New Orleans. I got Philadelphia winning this one, but they're going to drop week 4 at Tampa Bay. And I already know that you're going to disagree with this and you're going to say there's the revenge factor from the playoffs. But I don't
Mm-hmm.
know, dude. I feel like Tampa's going to want to stomp them again.
That'd be crazy. I'd be
Yeah.
shocked. I really would be shocked if Tampa wins this game here.
Yeah. No, that's fair. But then they head into a super early bye, a week 5 bye for Philadelphia. And then they come out of the bye hot and they get a win here against Cleveland. They get a win against the Giants, but they drop one to Cincinnati. We talked about Cincinnati. We both have them being one of the best teams in the league this year. So they're going to take down Philadelphia. Then we've got Jacksonville at Philadelphia here. Despite Trevor's contract, all that money he's getting, he's probably going to be spending too much time like buying a Rolls Royce or like swimming around in his pool that he's not going to be able to dedicate enough time to take down Philadelphia here. Then we've got Philadelphia at Dallas. I like Dallas at home here. Always like Dallas at home. Washington at Philadelphia, easy win for Philadelphia. Then we've got Philadelphia at the Rams, and I like the Rams to get this win. Uh, I think the Rams will be solid this year, strong enough to get a little victory here over a solid Philadelphia team. Then we go to Baltimore, and Philadelphia drops another one here. They had a tough little stretch of games here with, uh, the Rams and Baltimore, and then they had Dallas 2 weeks prior. So I think that they're going to drop this one to Baltimore as well, but they're going to bounce back with an easy win over Carolina, and then another win against Pittsburgh here. And they honestly, the end of their season is much easier than the rest of their season, but they've got a they got a win over Washington, and then they're going to beat Dallas while Philadelphia is at home, and then close out their season with a win against the Giants at home as well.
Good stuff. So 10-7 for you. A nice little winning streak to conclude the season.
Mm-hmm.
So I have pretty similar stuff here, but I do have a different opening to the season for sure. Before the bye
Yeah.
week, we are quite different. I have Green Bay winning against the Eagles down in Rio. I just don't feel like this is a good spot for the Eagles. I think the Packers have a lot of momentum going into this year. Jordan Love's been
Mm-hmm.
surging, but I do think they can beat the Falcons, as we discussed. Then on the road in New Orleans, not happening. I think the New Orleans Saints are going to be better than a lot of people expect, as we've talked about. But then they do get the dub at Tampa Bay. They're not going to let the Bucs and Baker Mayfield embarrass them twice within 9 months. Then you got the bye, so they're 2-2. Then they're at home against the Browns. They get that dub. Then they go on the road to the Giants, and then they'll lose. So this will be back-to-back losses against the Giants, but they'll
That's
course
absurd.
correct here. Then they go on the road to the Bengals. They drop another game here. I know it's a little treacherous early on for the Philly Eagles. Jacksonville then comes to town, and like you said, I like the Eagles in this spot here. Then they go on the road to Dallas, and like you also said, I like Dallas here. Washington at Philly, I'm going to take the Eagles. Then they go on the road here to the Rams and Baltimore. I'm going to take the Rams to beat them at home for the Rams, right? And then Baltimore to beat them while Baltimore's at home. A little bird on bird carnage there. Carolina comes to town. They take care of business there. Pittsburgh comes to town. They take care of business. Then they go on the road to Washington, and I think they can handle the Commanders quite easily. And then a couple more games here. Three, in fact, division games to end the season here. Dallas and the Giants at home. I think they win both of those to finish 11-6. And yeah, that's the exact same record they had this past year. But I think
Mm-hmm.
it will be a little bit more of an optimistic season because they'll go into the playoffs on a 6-game win streak.
As opposed to a 6 game lose streak.
Yeah,
Wait, so
poetic.
did you say that you had, I might have misheard you, that you had Baltimore beating Philadelphia? I think that is what you had said, but I see like on the doc we've got Philadelphia beating Baltimore here. So
So if I said that I meant Philadelphia beat Baltimore, I'm pretty sure
all right,
that's what I had said in our
gotcha.
NFC North or AFC North predictions as well. I
Yes,
like
yes,
Philly to
yes.
come on the road and beat the Ravens.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I do like your more optimistic note at the end of the season there. I actually think I misspoke in one of my picks here, and I said that I had Philadelphia to beat Pittsburgh, but I actually have Pittsburgh beating Philadelphia here in week 14, it appears. Maybe week 15 actually. But either way, still 10-7 for me and 11 and
Yep.
6 for you. All right. Now the absolute spooktacular, the shocking pick of the day here. New
Biggest
York
discrepancy
Giants.
ever.
New York Giants 1-16.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know it is a little bit wild. I'll just quickly tear through them. Who are they going to beat, bro? Who are they going to beat on my end? I've got them winning one game against the Commanders in week 9. All their other games, they're going to lose. I don't even need to run through the rest of them, but I'll let you take the reins.
Fair enough. Fair enough. It's interesting. Yeah, I guess that is a very winnable game at home against Washington, but I have them winning 8 times the amount of games that you do. I just don't think Minnesota is going to be that good at all, especially going on the road first week. I love this pick, man. I would put a lot of money that the Giants beat Minnesota week 1, JJ
hmm
McCarthy or Sam Darnold's first start as a Viking, whereas Daniel Jones comes in. He's playing for his NFL career. I like it a lot. I honestly like the next one too, going on the road to the Commanders, beating them. Going on the road to Cleveland's a little more difficult, so they drop that one. And then Dallas comes to town and beats them. But then they're off to Seattle, which I don't think will be very good. They take care of the Seahawks. Cincinnati comes to town, beats the Giants. Then Philly comes to town, and the Giants beat them. So, like I said, back-to-back wins for the Giants against the Eagles. Then you have the Giants at Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh takes this one. Washington at the Giants and Carolina at the Giants. 2 easy wins, in my opinion, for Daniel Jones and the squad. You got the bye week there. Tampa Bay comes to town. Giants got a pretty easy schedule here. This is a nice stretch. I mean, Washington, Carolina, and Tampa. But then you go on the road to Dallas, you lose that one. New Orleans comes to town, beats you up a little bit. Baltimore comes to town, beats you. Giants at Atlanta. I think Atlanta will take that one. Although I actually originally had the Giants winning this one, but 9-8 would be a little crazy. Colts coming to town. I think the Giants beat them, but this is the least confident game on like the entire sheet here. I feel about just because the Colts are really a wild card with Anthony Richardson, how healthy he'll be, and who knows how healthy he'll be at this point in the season. But I will take the Giants for now, and then I will have them going on the road and losing to the Eagles to finish 8-9, which is a pretty good season, but might not be enough for the Giants to necessarily keep Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I would say that if they go 8-9, they're definitely missing the playoffs, and I don't foresee them keeping Daniel Jones either. You are far more optimistic on them than I am, clearly based on the records. But I mean, yeah, I just who is Daniel Jones gonna get the ball to? Like, they don't
Malik
have talent
Neighbors.
players. I mean, yeah, he's their new draft pick, but like he's got to learn still. He's got a lot of there's just a learning curve he's got to face as a rookie, and I don't feel that he will be spectacular in year one.
I mean, it's very fair. I definitely am higher on them more than a lot of our people are. So chances are it'll probably be somewhere in the middle, like maybe 5-11 or 5-12, whatever it adds up
Yeah,
to there. Maybe that's like the happy medium here.
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. On to the Cowboys. I've got the Cowboys with the same record as the Bengals here. I've got them going 14-3 to be tied for the best teams in the league. Week 1, Dallas at Cleveland. Dallas is taking this one. New Orleans at Dallas. Dallas is going to take that one too. But then they are back at home, or I guess they're still at home, facing a tough Baltimore team, but they get that win as well, and they take down the Giants. They lose their first game in week 5 of the season, a game I don't really think they should lose, but they're going to drop one to Pittsburgh here. Week 6, they have a tough win against Detroit, and they're heading into the bye after this emotional victory against Detroit. Very tight game that they're going to have. But then they come back from the bye and they're going to drop one to San Fran here. Another tough game. And since they're traveling to San Francisco, I don't think they're going to get this win. Then we've got a game against Atlanta here. They're going to win against Atlanta. They're going to win against Philly. And as crazy as it might be, I've got them beating Houston here. I've got them beating Houston. It's the first time I picked against Houston so far.
I was surprised to see that, but yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, I don't mind that. This one's going to be a really good game. The battle
I
for
was,
Texas.
yeah, exactly. I was worried about it a little bit. I was thinking like, man, like if I keep picking Houston, by the time we get to whatever, their division, like
Yeah,
I'm gonna have
we're
them
going to be
going like
undefeated.
17-0. And I'm like, that can't happen. So
Right, right.
yeah. All
Maybe
right.
16-1 though.
Yes. Yeah, much more reasonable. Yeah. All right, Dallas at Washington. They're gonna drop a one to their division rival here. Already talked about that earlier. But then they get another win against the Giants. They get a win against Cincinnati here. Another great game of the season. Burrow and Prescott. Prescott's coming out ahead for this game. Then we've got Dallas at Carolina, easy win for Dallas. Then Tampa Bay at Dallas, and I've got Tampa actually getting a win here, kind of a surprising victory, especially because Dallas is at home. It's the only game that I have Dallas losing at home this year, and a kind of a fluky upset to Tampa Bay. Then we've got them closing out the season with wins over Philadelphia and Washington.
Very nice. So I would assume, yeah, that would win them the division pretty comfortably. Yeah, they
Mhm.
would be 4 games ahead of the Eagles. In your scenario, I have it being a tie in terms of record, 11-6, and we'll get to the division winner here in a moment. But I have them going on the road to start the season to beat the Browns, but then they're back at home and they beat the Saints. Saints aren't going to be that good, but they'll be pretty good. Baltimore at Dallas. I'm going to take Dallas. Dallas at the Giants. Going to take Dallas. Dallas at Pittsburgh. Taking the Cowboys. They get their first loss of the season at home against the Lions. I just really think the Lions are going to be
Mm.
invigorated to conquer them after the whole 2 point conversion snafu of last year that lost them the game, which of course was at Dallas. Then you have your bye week. And now I feel like one of these days, like Dallas is going to beat the 49ers no matter where it is, at home or away, because they've struggled. They probably lost 4 in a row now to the Niners over the last 3 years, whether it be playoffs or
Mhm.
regular season. But I don't see it happening this year. They got a tough draw with it being on the road. Then Dallas goes to Atlanta. They beat the Falcons. The Eagles come to town and they beat them. I do have Houston coming to town and beating them as well. I just feel like this is a tough stretch for Dallas. I don't think
Yeah.
at Atlanta will be any easy game. I don't think home against the Eagles will be an easy game. So it kind of butters them up to be snuck up on by the Texans. But then they have a pretty easy stretch here. You go to Washington and then home against the Giants, 2 dubs. Then you're at home against the Bengals. The Bengals do get the best of you here. I'm huge on the Bengals this year, as we talked about. Then I have Dallas going to Carolina, obviously being the Panthers. I don't think it's any stretch of the imagination for them to not beat the Bucks here. I just think that the Bucks are going to be feel like a 7-10, like 8-9 type team this year. Like I am not
Mhm.
big on the Bucks this year. I think the Saints will win the division and probably have a couple game advantage over the Bucks this year. Dallas at Philadelphia, I'm going to take Philly, and then Washington at Dallas, as we talked about, bold, but I'm going to have the Commanders win. So that's an 11-6 record, which would tie the Eagles. So then who wins the division? It comes down to divisional record. Oh, both of them lost 2 divisional games. Then what do you do? Conference record. Cowboys only would have lost 4 conference games. The Eagles will have lost 5. So the Cowboys would come out on top by quite a dick hair of a technicality. And so that would be the second year in a row that they won the division, which would be the first time that a team had won the division back to back in a long time for the NFC
Wow.
East.
Yeah, that's wild. I'm glad that we both agreed on it though, that the Cowboys are going to win the division. Although, yeah, that is certainly a crazy stat that it's been so long.
Yeah, no, it is wild. Absolutely wild. But I
Yeah,
feel like the curse is meant to be broken here soon.
yeah, for sure. All right, best bets of the week review. NBA Finals didn't go as well for me as I would have hoped. Game one, thought it'd go over 214. I think it was under by like maybe like 20 points, kind of sizable margin. Dallas money
Hmm.
line. Dallas did not win. Kyrie did not go over 23 and a half. He had a very poor game. Luca did, however, go over 3.5 threes. It was the only bet that cashed. And we will see if Jason Tatum is the MVP. Still to be determined.
Feels like it may be that way. I think that was a
Yeah.
safe bet.
Yeah.
All right, for my best bets, I had 4 Nerfies on June 4th. Kansas City at Cleveland, Dodgers at Pittsburgh, Minnesota at the Yankees, the Braves at Boston, all of which cashed. They were all really good pitching matchups. I took the Astros money line minus 155 and they won there. I don't remember who that was against, but it was a team that had not been very good, and the Astros have been a little bit better than average. Pittsburgh money line at plus 158 was one of my favorite plays of the week. I believe the final score was 1-0 against the Dodgers. Jesse Jones just really carved them up. think it's Jesse or is it Jared Jones? Either way, Cleveland money line as well at minus 115 hit. The only one that did not hit was Colorado at plus 115, which is just a bad team to bet on anyways. I just got 2Q with it, but I'll take 7 out of 8.
Yeah, man, you popped off last week. Got to give you props for that. You're up to
Thank
more
you.
wins than losses now. You're doing far better than me. So, yeah, good stuff, dude.
Thank you.
114 and 110 on your bets for the year.
Wow. I feel good about that, but I know I'm gonna go cold like any second here.
No, don't be saying that. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a good thing where as we approach the new season, we'll be starting the new best bets tracker and to be ending off the 2023-2024 season with in the positives is certainly something to be pretty psyched about.
Absolutely. I agree.
Yeah. All right, I've got a few best bets this week. Take it with a grain of salt, though, because mine have not been quite as hot as they were in the earlier part of the NBA season when I was picking blind squirrel spreads and just hitting every one of them.
Yeah, that was
But
crazy, dude. You should go
dude,
back to doing that.
I honestly should, yeah. Um, yeah, dude, absolute rocky road lately. I've hit one, two, three, four, five out of my last what would appear to be 20 bets.
Hey, it's the law of
That's
averages, it's the law of averages.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. Game five, I've already talked about it a little bit earlier. Dallas money line tonight to win the NBA Finals or win game two of the NBA Finals. Plus 222, like the odds on that. We'll see if your prediction comes to fruition though of Celtics just closing it out tonight. Then I've got PJ Washington over 13 and a half points at plus 125. I really like this value and plus money. He's had so many games in the playoffs where he was throwing up 20 plus points. So I feel that he would be able to scour up 14 tonight at least. And then our temporary bet or the bet from a couple weeks ago, still Jason Tatum, MVP in place at minus 120. I actually haven't checked to see if the odds have shifted on that at all, but yeah, we're still just gonna leave it as is and hope for the best.
Awesome. Yeah, the odds probably I would have assumed have gone down.
Yeah, it's difficult for me to check now because I can't access FanDuel at all because sports betting is illegal in Texas.
Oh shit,
Um,
no.
Yeah, so I have to make my picks off
Damn.
of CBS Sports. But it's funky. Like DraftKings will still allow me to look at their app, but like as soon as I like log into FanDuel, it says like you can't. Like
That
it's
sucks.
banned. Yeah, I know.
Damn, Texas feels like a state that would have allowed it too. That's the weird part.
I know, right? Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like Prize Picks is still available, but unfortunately can't use FanDuel, which is a little
Yeah, prize
ridiculous
picks
to
like
me.
a whole nother animal. Like if you're under 21, you could still do prize picks. It's weird.
Yeah, I don't get it. It's like because it's like this daily fantasy sports thing, but I
Yeah.
really don't get how it's considered any different than
Yeah, it's
like
just like a
betting.
regurgitation of the same stuff.
Oh, dude, for sure.
Anyways, getting on to my best bets for the week. I'm going to take Miami's money line on June 18th. So this is going to be Tuesday, the day that this is posted on YouTube. That is, they're playing the Cardinals. And I like the pitching matchup here for the Marlins. Roddery Munoz is actually not bad. Then you have Seattle at Cleveland. That's going to be a nerfy pick because you have Bryce Miller and Tristan McKenzie. I'm also taking the nerfy for Boston at Toronto. That's Tanner Houck and Chris Bassett. San Francisco at Chicago. That is Logan Webb versus Justin Steele. Would also take the under in that game, but it's not posted yet, so I'm just going to leave that out. But definitely take the nerfy there. And I'm going to take three total money lines, two more in addition to the Miami one. I think Philadelphia at home with one of their best pitchers, Aaron Nola, at minus 155 is kind of a steal. Like there's some good value in that despite it being, you know, firmly in minus money. And then Pittsburgh plus 115 at home against the Reds. I just think Nick Lodolo has a little bit of a tough game, and Bailey Falter is not that bad. When you get Pittsburgh at home with a decent pitching matchup against a team below 500 squarely, I'm going to take the Pirates.
There you go, dude. I fully believe in all of those picks with as hot as you've been.
Thank you. We'll see what happens. I'm liable to lose all of them though.
No, I don't know about that. Dude, let's just take a little gander, shall we, at your picks since April 29th, okay? Since April 29th,
Let's see here.
you have made 30 bets, all right? You've
Yeah,
lost four, one has been refunded. You're 25, 4 and 1.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's mind
Unreal,
blowing
bro.
to me. I don't know how. I have no idea how. It's just a lot of
Like,
Nerfy. I got like a little Nerfy scent.
you know all about the Nerfies, bro. You can just smell them out like a little
Yeah.
ferret.
Thank you. I'm trying. I'm trying to get my anteater on, sniff out the little pockets of value, little
Oh
pockets of
yeah,
nuts or whatever else an anteater eats.
dude.
Ants, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but I know I'm gonna cool down here soon. I know it.
Anteaters thrive in the heat, dude. They live off the desert.
It's pretty hot right now. Even,
Yeah.
in Chicago, I'm sure it honestly might be hotter here than it is there for you.
I did see that, yeah, that you guys have are going through like a little heat wave and it's like 95 by you guys right now.
Yeah, I'm just cooking, just roasting.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. It's like that every day here. We've had like some heat indexes like into the hundreds. So
Hmm.
it's pretty tough, but I mean, I guess it's not that much different than what you're going through.
Yeah, but it'll level out. I'm sure it'll get cooler here and it'll get hotter
For
down
sure.
there.
I know. I'm not looking forward to the bonus heat, but hopefully it'll be a nice fall and winter and spring.
Yeah, I would always struggle with that, man, because I would show up to work every day sweaty and I wouldn't be able to have my hat.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're driving to work, you're not going to be sweaty, but
Dude,
if you're
I'm gonna get
walking
sweaty from like the 30-second walk that it takes
from the
to get
parking
me from
lot.
my car. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Gotcha. Well, Papa Bear sent in some fan mail this week.
Did he? I checked like this morning or something.
Really? He was on the phone with me this morning and he was cooking up an email, dude. He was fiendishly crafting it.
7:34 a.m.
You must have checked at 7:33.
I must have. But
Yeah.
yes, some good fan mail here for sure.
I
He's
know, dude.
condemning my bear hate though.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really love the Bear hate either. 7 and 10, bro.
I mean, I would love to be wrong, trust me.
Yeah. Although he'll probably condemn my Giants hate next week. 1 and 16 is a little much.
That is aggressive.
Yeah.
So your dad has NFC North Lions, Bears, Packers, Vikings, AFC North Bengals, Ravens, Browns, Steelers, NFC East Eagles, Cowboys, Giants, Commanders. Celtics win tonight, I agree, and keep up the Nerfies. I like that. Last two
There you
parts are
go.
very solid.
Yeah. Excellent.
Looks like we agree pretty much on AFC North, but we both have the Cowboys winning the NFC East
Hmm. Well, that's good.
and the Giants ahead of the Commanders. So you and your dad, yeah, gotta hash that out.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll have to give him a little phone call and let him know that the Giants are not going to beat the Commanders.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see about that. It'll be very fun to monitor how this all goes as the season progresses.
For sure, bro.
All right, guys, that's all we have for you today.
Yeah. Hope you enjoyed seeing our beautiful faces for the first time, other
I
than our
know.
shorts.
Yeah, of course. You did see him in the shorts, but now we're back. So
Yeah.
hopefully it didn't terrify you too much.
All
All right, we'll see you guys next week. Bye now.